I'm talking today about extending Icinga Web 2 with modules. And first I will talk about me, then about the company I work for, then how you can extend Icinga Web 2 easily, and then things I've written since then, like check reports, an impersonate module, a team dashboards module, a custom dashboards module, and something new. These things before I presented at Icinga Camp Berlin, Icinga Camp Milan, and monitoring backports, which is something new. Some idea how to build documentation, the plugin doc builder, and the scaffold builder. I recently presented in the Icinga Camp Berlin, that's right, and some enhancement of the map module by Nicolas Schneider. Okay, and then there's a demo, and then there are the links to the repositories. Okay, so about me, my name is Nicolas Schneider. Maybe you know me from the Icinga community forum. It's More Amazing Nick. And I work in monitoring since 2021. And I studied medical computer science. And, well, Amazing Nick was already taken on GitHub. I don't know who this is. But, yeah, that's why it's called More Amazing Nick. And the research industrial systems engineering, short RISE. What do we do? Or what are we? We are a spin-off of an institute of the Technical University of Vienna, and active in architecture and safety engineering and software development. And since this software has to get monitored, we got familiar with Icinga, and well, locations are in Vienna and Schwechat and in several countries. Yeah, maybe you know some of these connectors or this one, or yeah. Okay, how is Icinga Web 2 extensible? The first thing, you have modules, and modules have their own functionality. And if you want to use something else, you can also copy code from other modules, like this. Oh, sorry. Also, you can reuse classes, you can copy them, you can change some behavior, and then you have your own module. And Icinga Web 2 also provides some hooks, and these hooks you can fill with your own information, and they get rendered at specific points in Icinga Web 2 where the developer implemented them. And then some examples are, for example, the host action hook. If you know that Icinga Director, the inspect feature, that's implemented there. The link to that. Then you have other hooks, because modules can provide hooks too. For example, the data type hook, which is also used in the Icinga Director if you want to have own data types, or the report hook, where you can create your own reports for the reporting module. And yeah, your module also can provide some CLI action that are not implemented in other modules yet, so you can implement them too. And also you can provide some themes if you want. Okay, well, that's great. Something I've written, it's called check reports. I wanted to put the check result, the latest check result, in a report. So you have the host name, the service name, the last state, and the last execution time, and then you get whatever the check result was. The idea was to have it like in an update report. You need a scheduler, you need some portable format like a PDF, and all these features are already in the reporting module, so why not use that? And use the reporting hook, and well, why can't we use a notification plugin? Well, they get triggered by state change, that's okay. So you need some external scheduling if the state doesn't change to get a new result, and there's also no PDF. So back to the check reports. So what did I do? It went very smooth because I used idle reports. There's everything there you need to get all these results, and just change a little bit of code. And so I did the idle implementation first, and yeah, instead of getting the SLA value, I just put out the check report, the check result. That's great. Some challenges, I tried to migrate that to Icinga DB, and well, I have 2 reports and they're not the same. And I don't know why. So I added this execution time, and that wasn't the same execution time. So somehow the plugin output was outdated. And what I found out, you have this this funny thing. If you need to access the data from the Redis database from Icinga DB, you need just to add this to the query, and everything went fine. That's all you need to change, and after some debugging, that works too. So it's Icinga DB and monitoring module capable. Okay, then something else. I heard about that in an Icinga community call. It's called impersonate, which would be a really nice feature in Icinga Web too, because other applications have that too. It's great for debugging. Some user deleted a dashboard or disabled one, or you want to try out some restrictions and you don't know his password, which is very good if you don't know that. And so I tried to implement an impersonate module. And the path was also very simple. You have this login controller from Icinga Web 2, which you can already use, so just copy that. And each data you want to put into Icinga Web 2, you need a form for that. And this form has some views. So we copy all of that and remove some, the password field, remove some styles, remove every check, because impersonate shouldn't check the password anymore. And yeah, that was pretty much it. Now you have this this funny little button, and yeah, I also log it to the. There's an auth hook to an audit hook to write to the audit log, and I also tried to use this hook to write to the audit hook in order so you can see in the audit log that somebody tried to or use the impersonate function, then you can. Yeah. Some things I still don't know because I didn't try it out, this domain awareness. So if it doesn't work on any machine that uses domain specific things in Icinga, please let me know, open a ticket, and I will try to fix it. If it's broken, I have no idea. Then we have something else. It's called dashboards. It's not dashboards, but it's some dashboard functionality. And as you might know, Icinga is working on something. There should be some enhancement of dashboards. But it's not ready. I hope so, because then this talk would be redundant. So I tried to implement something myself, which also uses, again, Icinga Web 2 code. Yeah, and it also shows how extensible Icinga Web 2 is. So one thing is team dashboards, inspired by, if you know it, Thomas Gelf invented enforced dashboards. But these dashboards are mapped to every user, and yeah, not that helpful if some user wants to still use their own dashboards, because these dashboards are not working anymore. So again, this is a community issue. And something else, what you might have if you share dashboards, then this bar up there, it gets filled, and you don't see your own dashboards anymore. Yeah, and you can also do something else. You can use, if you might know the configuration PHP, to add menu items and dashboards for every user. But this fills up this line, this tab also. So the idea is to having a virtual or real user and map these dashboards from him or her or it to the other users. And you still want to keep your own dashboards. And yeah, I also want to manage it via rows. So every dashboard that's mapped by a username will be in the row setup, so you can enable, disable it for each user, role group, or whatever. And you can also rename the user, because if you map the user test, you don't want everyone to see that it's user test. Maybe you want to have the item named Team A or something. And some pro tip, if you use the impersonate module, you don't need the password from this user to change its dashboards. Yeah, and so there's a user test, and this user test has dashboards XO and test, and these two dashboards are mapped there, and you can navigate through that. Okay, what I did, if you might know, scaffold builder, I presented it at Icinga Camp Berlin, provides a scaffold for your next module. You add the name and you get almost working module. So I use that for the ini repository because we need some kind of mapping. And then I copied the dashboard controller from Icinga Web 2 and the dashboard class, copy all the views, allow to set the specific user, adapt some URLs because that doesn't work anymore if I don't do that. Remove this unused code and also remove the thing where you can edit dashboards because that would be silly to edit other users' dashboards. And yeah, and edit the role permission thing so you can enable and disable these entries for users and groups. Yeah, and what I don't map is I don't map the current incidents and muted and overdue. I think that would be pretty redundant. So if it's needed, maybe we can do some switch statement to load that too, but right now it's not loaded. Then something else, custom dashboards. Used in a very similar way. I have the same problems again, and I want to create dashboards manually and map it to like own menu item. And I can do that by setting a name and the URL. I don't have this fancy add to dashboard button, but you know your URLs and you just paste them. And then you can again map that to other users via row setup. You keep your own dashboards, it's an own menu item. You can also change the menu name, so if we want to have it like Icinga, then there would be Icinga. And you can also change this icon because I check through the available icons and then you get a drop down, a fancy drop down, and you can change the item to a book or something. Yeah, and you can also change the position of this if you want it more at the top or at the bottom, just change the priority and yeah, and it also works via CLI, so you can pretty much add these entries, yeah, via CLI. Yeah, and then something completely different. It's monitoring backports. There was this, yeah, disclaimer. Sorry. I will show you how to change behavior of other modules without actually changing the code of these other modules. And changing behavior this way makes it very difficult for the original author to debug these problems, if there are any problems with your code. So be careful what you do this way, please. So again, inspired by a post in the community forum, there was this, in Icinga Web 2.9, this for unhandled services thing. And it's gone. I didn't miss it, it's okay. But I wanted to provide a functionality how to bring that back without patching the code. So I looked into the monitoring module. There were, the queries were removed. It's not a big problem, we can recreate it, but it's okay. But the question was, why did Icinga remove that? Maybe the query was too expensive or something. Yeah. So most likely the pull request wouldn't go through if I implement it in the monitoring module again. So let's not do that. So we hook into the monitoring module, but not hook like the Icinga way to provide hooks, but to like something like monkey patching. It's not monkey patching, but it's super close to it. Because yeah, you have this model view controller pattern. So you see the URL, it's list hosts. So you have this host action and the list controller, so that aligns. And you can take this list controller and you can extend the original list controller. Name it list controller again. You inherit all the actions, but you only override host action. And you call the parent host action, and then you do some magic stuff because you want to get some data again back, like the critical unhandled and the unknown unhandled. You can add that, and then you have this value. And the same array that Icinga Web 2 the monitoring module used to render that. So the action is the functionality is restored, and yeah, great. Now something to add. There is this add helper path that's very important because the monitoring module has some helpers that you might need, so you can just reload it from the monitoring module and they get all these helpers. And similar function is used for the scripts. The views are inside this folder, but we can't do that now because we still need to edit the view, and so we would again render the other view. That's not the point of that. Okay, but to the next part. So the functionality is restored. Our host action gets this data again. Then we have some different problem because we still want to render the CSS from the monitoring module, and there is a nice function like get module name. Just overwrite it, and it's called monitoring, and Icinga Web 2 will render this with the available CSS from monitoring. Well, great, solved. Add this function to the list controller, to your own list controller. Okay, and the last part, you take the view from monitoring application view scripts list host HTML, and you copy it because that's the original from the recent version. Then you look into the one from 2.9 from the monitoring module, and you see this code is missing. Just put it back in because we restored this functionality. This should work. And down there, where nobody can see that, it would load host summary and section info, and so we can either copy that too, or we just add this add script path. So from now on, we load the scripts from the monitoring module, and great, it's there. No exception anymore, because we don't want to duplicate that too. Yeah. Yeah, so now we have a module named monitoring backports, and it provides a host list with our minimal changes, but it's not integrated in the Icinga Web 2 monitoring module, but it's reachable via this URL. Yeah, we need more magic. And I found this in the cube module. You can use the run PHP file to reroute this action. So reroute this action, this idea from the cube module. I also implemented some switch statement to enable or disable this feature. You can see that later in the demo. But if this feature is enabled host list, we just take the route and we overwrite it with our route, and perfect. Now, from now on, our action will be loaded instead of the monitoring list host. We load monitoring backports list host. Great. That would be the screenshot from here. Okay. Then we have something completely different. It's called plugin doc builder. And every one of you likes writing documentation. It's great. So an even greater way would be to build the documentation page based on things you already have in Icinga. And then to use a template, add all this information you have. And this information could be already in the director, because each argument has a description. If you put some meaningful description in it, great, we can render that. And there is also already good documentation in the Icinga PowerShell plugins, where each plugin is described, and also the Icinga template library. There is also information about checks. Okay, so let's combine everything. And again, I use the scaffold builder because I need some settings. I need to edit. I need to enter the. Oh, I need to enter the things I want to download from GitHub and extract it and combine everything, and it already looks amazing because you have this documentation ready from the things you have downloaded. Okay, so let's access the director command fields and extract this information. Great, fill out the template and integrate it in our overall documentation. Check plugin documentation. Well, some key questions. Is it ready yet? No, it's it's pretty messy. So it's not on GitHub yet, but I can show it to you. And if it's ready, well, let's wait for it. And another thing, I presented that in the Icinga Camp Berlin, it's the scaffold builder. We do that really fast. You can build your own module based on almost any name. I think now it's any name, but well, I didn't check that. Recently, you can't name the module repository or data. Okay, you get all the directories ready for those who went to the training workshop, to the Icinga module workshop. It takes a really long time to add all the folders and all the files, and then sometimes you get these namespaces not right and nothing works. Okay, so what you get from me, you get a basic index controller. You have your own your first menu items. You get all the important config files. You can add multiple ini repositories, so like users or I think food, beverages, I don't know. And you can also get the generic documentation. You can fill it out. You don't have to start from scratch. Yeah. And some enhancement. Does any of you use the map module by Nicolas Schneider? Okay. So the latest release, no offense, was from 2018. He did, I think he did he did much recently. The Icinga DB integration is there, but I wanted something else. I wanted this nice search bar up there. I wanted to filter by hosts or services. Great, Icinga has that. Let's integrate it. And also updated the map data type to work with the new map module. And then something I wanted to change too, like you have this default map entry here, so it makes sense if there are some other maps. So each map, if you filter by something and zoom in or out, you can use this book button, and then you add this. You get more entries. And can also specify a name, like, I don't know, Nürnberg, and then you have an entry with Nürnberg, and it's already zoomed in. Yeah, and I also provide permissions for each of these entries. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And now the demo. I think we are so what did I show you? I showed you the check reports. Well, it's not very sophisticated, but there is some report. It's almost the same like the report from the SLA report, but yeah, you have to add this time frame. I can't change that. Just use any time frame. I won't check about that. And I also added some regex beautifiers, so if you have some strange service names, like I do, you can filter out CMD, and then it will be beautified. Yeah, yeah. And since this is Icinga DB, you can use Icinga DB query language to filter by something. So I get this apt report, no updates pending. Okay. Then there was the team dashboards module. If you look here, there is a user test. Test has these two dashboards, and to show you that I'm not fooling you, let's switch to the user test using the impersonate module, and I broke something. Okay, we are user test, and test user has two dashboards, two additional XOXO and test. Perfect. Then the custom dashboard module, where you can edit these dashlets by name and URL, and you can also enable or disable it if you don't want to delete it. And if you look into the role setup for both of them, you see that custom test pane has an entry, and I can enable or disable that for another user, and it's the same with team dashboard, so you can manage all your permissions through that. Okay, so the next thing was, what was the next thing? Map, great. Okay, the extension of the map module, like this one, it shows my hosts that has that have this geolocation custom variable, and I know there's a host test, so I can just filter by that. Now it's just one. Host test is down. We can use this bar up there to, like, I know where the host is. Let's type in Nuremberg, and we get that. And now we are in Nuremberg. We can zoom in, and we can save that to our list. It gets reloaded soon, but I just reload it. Now you have this Nuremberg item, and you can see your Nuremberg host, and with the right view. Okay, and now the plugin doc builder. As you see, this all looks like the scaffold builder, so it's not ready yet. And I added these sources, so I say, hey, let's download from GitHub Icinga 2 and get plugins only and the latest version. Okay, and then we can generate from director. We can generate all because we want these two. Then that's okay. Then we can combine all. So now there is I will deploy a module that contains all these informations, and then we deploy that. So now okay, so I can scroll, perfect. So now I can use this, for example, from director, where I get everything that is actually from director, like this adapter-grade plugin, and I see my template filled out, and the arguments are already there with a short description that is in there. But that's not all. There would be the combined plugin documentation, and the combined plugin documentation also includes the checks from the PowerShell plugins because I downloaded them, and so I have this great description, I have permissions, I have examples, and if it has parameters, there are parameters in the description. And the more important thing about that would be that if you render like a list of services by in this case by service group, and you click on one service, you can get straight to this documentation. And you can also like implement a service action hook and to point to the service directly, and you see it fails because it's like misconfigured, and you can go to the documentation and see what the author has intended for you to put in. Yeah. I think that was it. Let's just check if I missed anything. No? Perfect. Okay, you can download this from GitHub. So, like the scaffold builder or the monitoring backports, you get from this repository, that's mine, and like everything else, that's this repository, company repository. Yeah.